This past week, oil prices did something they haven't done since 2022. They blew past $100 a barrel. And if you felt that sting at the gas pump this weekend, you already know this isn't just a number on a screen. It's money leaving your wallet. But here's the part that worries me more than the gas pump. That $100 oil price is about to ripple through your grocery bill, your heating costs, your prescription deliveries, and yes, your retirement portfolio. And if you're living on Social Security and savings, you don't have the luxury of waiting this out. So today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's happening, why it matters more for retirees than anyone else, and the specific steps you can take this week to protect what you've built. Let me give you a little context first, because this didn't come out of nowhere. At the end of February, military operations began in the Middle East involving Iran. Now, I'm not going to get into the politics. That's not what this is about. What matters to your wallet is this. The Strait of Hormuz, which is a narrow waterway where roughly 20% of the world's oil passes through, has effectively been shut down. Shipping companies like Maersk and Hapag-Lloyd suspended all crossings. Insurance companies made it nearly impossible for tankers to pass through. And right now, approximately 77 million barrels of oil are sitting on tankers in the Persian Gulf with nowhere to go. That's why oil didn't just go up a little. It surged 35% in a single week. That's the biggest weekly jump in the history of oil futures trading, going all the way back to 1983. The price of a barrel of West Texas Intermediate crude shot up to over $113. Brent crude, the international benchmark, briefly touched $119. And gas prices across America jumped from about $3 a gallon to $3.45 almost overnight. In California, some stations are already above $5, and analysts warn it could hit $7 by the end of March. Now here's the part most people miss, and this is where I need you to really pay attention. The gas pump is just the beginning. Think of oil prices like a rock thrown into a pond. The first splash is the gas station, but the ripples spread everywhere. Within 2 to 4 weeks, trucking and shipping companies raise their rates because diesel costs more. That means everything that travels by truck gets more expensive. And what travels by truck? Your groceries, your medications, your packages. Within 1 to 3 months, airlines raise ticket prices. Medical transport costs go up. Home delivery fees increase. And within 3 to 6 months, overall inflation can climb 1 to 2 percentage points above where it was. We saw this exact pattern during the 2007 and 2008 oil shock, when oil went from $71 a barrel all the way to $145, and consumer prices jumped from 2.4% to 5.6% in just 1 year. That's according to the Department of Labor's own historical records. Does this sound familiar? It should, because here's the uncomfortable truth about your Social Security check. Your 2026 cost of living adjustment was 2.8%. That was calculated based on price data from the third quarter of 2024 to the third quarter of 2025. In other words, it was set months before this oil crisis even began. So your raise already happened. It's already baked in. And it cannot adjust to what's happening right now. Let me put some real numbers on this so you can see what I mean. The average Social Security benefit is roughly $1,900 per month. A 2.8% raise gives you about $53 extra per month. Sounds helpful, right? But Medicare Part B premiums went up 9.7% this year to $202.90 per month. That increase alone eats about $18 of your raise. Then add the gas price surge. If you drive about 800 miles a month and your car gets 25 miles per gallon, you're burning 32 gallons. At 45 cents more per gallon, that's an extra $14.40 per month just in gas. So you've got $53 coming in and already $32 going out just from Medicare and gas. That leaves you roughly $20 to absorb higher grocery prices, higher heating bills, and higher costs on everything that gets delivered to your door. That $20 will vanish fast. And this is before we even talk about what's happening to your investments. Now let me flip this around for a moment, because this affects your retirement portfolio too, and this is where people make the most expensive mistake. When oil spikes, the stock market usually drops. It happened in 2000, and 8 when the S&P 500 fell 37%. It happened in 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine and stocks dropped 19%. And it's happening now. The S&P 500 is falling. Japan's Nikkei crashed 5% in a single day. South Korea's market dropped 6%. If you have retirement savings in a 401,000 or IRA invested in stocks, you've probably seen your balance go down this past week. And here is where the critical mistake happens. Some people see their portfolio dropping and they panic. They sell everything, move to cash, and promise themselves they'll get back in when things calm down. It feels safe. It feels logical. But it is one of the most costly financial mistakes a retiree can make. Here's why. When you sell during a downturn, you lock in those losses permanently. You sell low. And then when the market recovers, and it always has recovered after every single oil crisis in history, you're sitting on the sidelines. You miss the recovery. You bought high, sold low, and lost money you can never get back. Now here's where it gets practical, and I want you to remember this part because this is the most important section of this entire video. There's a strategy that smart financial planners call the bucket approach, and it works beautifully during times like these. The idea is simple. You divide your money into 3 buckets. Bucket 1 is your cash and short-term bonds. This should hold 12 to 18 months of living expenses. This is the money you live on right now. It's safe, it's liquid, and it means you never have to sell stocks during a downturn. Bucket 2 is your intermediate money. This might be in bonds, certificates of deposit, or Treasury Inflation-Protected Securities, also called TIPS. TIPS are especially valuable right now because their principal value adjusts with inflation. When prices go up, your TIPS go up too. They're backed by the US government and currently paying about 2% above inflation. The only catch is that the inflation adjustment counts as taxable income each year, so it's best to hold them in a tax-deferred account like an IRA. Bucket 3 is your long-term growth money. This is your stocks, your equity funds, your growth investments. You don't touch this bucket during a crisis. You let it ride. You let it recover. Because historically, it always does. Let me show you what this looks like with real numbers. Imagine Margaret. She's 72 years old. She has $400,000 in retirement savings and receives $1,900 a month from Social Security. Before the oil shock, her monthly budget was balanced at $3,200. But now, gas is costing her an extra $45 per month. Groceries are up about $80. Her heating bill jumped $60. That's $185 extra dollars per month she didn't plan for. If Margaret panics and sells her stock investments right now, she might lock in a 10% loss. On a $240,000 stock allocation, that's $24,000 gone permanently. But if she has a cash bucket with 18 months of expenses, roughly $58,000, she doesn't need to sell anything. She lives off the cash bucket while the market recovers. She weathers the storm without permanent damage. Now compare that to Robert and Linda, both in their late 60s, with $800,000 in savings and a proper bucket strategy already in place. They have $60,000 in cash, $100,000 in TIPS, and the rest diversified. They also switch to LED lighting, have a programmable thermostat, and drive one fuel-efficient car. The oil shock is uncomfortable, but it's manageable. Their financial plan absorbs the hit. Now think about James, who is 75. He has $150,000, mostly sitting in a money market account, and $1,500 a month from Social Security. He has no inflation protection at all. His gas bill went from $80 a month to $120. His heating bill nearly doubled. He's spending $40 a month more on groceries because delivery fees went up and store prices climbed. At this rate, James is burning through his savings 3 to 4 years faster than he originally planned. But here's the good news. James can still take action. He can apply for LIHEAP to get help with his energy bills. He can start a TIPS ladder to protect at least part of his savings from inflation. He can consolidate his driving and use senior transit programs. He can explore Meals on Wheels for nutritious meals at reduced cost. Small steps add up to big protection over time. And I want to address something that a lot of people don't realize about oil shocks. They don't last forever. The 2008 oil spike from $71 to $145. Within 6 months, oil had fallen back to $30. The 2022 spike after Russia invaded Ukraine. Oil peaked around $130 and came back down below $80 within months. Energy analysts right now are saying that if the Strait of Hormuz reopens, and several officials have indicated that could happen within weeks, oil prices should fall significantly from current levels. The pre-crisis forecast from the Energy Information Administration was actually for oil to drop to $55 per barrel in 2026. Now that forecast is obviously on hold, but the underlying market fundamentals haven't changed. There's still global oversupply. China's electric vehicle adoption is reducing demand, and U.S. production remains near record levels at 13.5 million barrels per day. So while the pain is real right now, history strongly suggests this will pass. Now I want to give you specific actions you can take, starting today. Do this today. This week. Start by reviewing your monthly budget this week. Write down exactly how much more you're spending on gas, groceries, and utilities since the oil prices jumped. You can't protect what you don't measure. Next, check if you qualify for the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, called LIHEAP. You can call 211 or visit benefits.gov to apply. Here's something important. Many seniors who think they don't qualify actually do. Call your utility company and ask specifically about senior discount programs, budget billing, or hardship assistance. Most utility companies have these programs, but they don't advertise them. You have to ask. Look at your retirement portfolio and check whether you have 12 to 18 months of living expenses in cash or short-term bonds. If you don't, talk to your financial advisor about setting up a bucket strategy. Don't do this in a panic. Do it as a plan. Consider adding inflation-protected securities to your portfolio. You can buy I-bonds directly from the U.S. government at treasurydirect.gov. The limit is $10,000 per person per year. You can't cash them out the first year, and there's a 3-month interest penalty if you redeem before 5 years, but they're one of the safest inflation hedges available. Reduce your driving costs. Consolidate errands into one trip instead of making 5 separate drives. Check GasBuddy for the cheapest gas prices near you. Look into senior transit programs in your area. Some communities offer free or low-cost shuttle services specifically for seniors. Add a trusted contact person to your brokerage account. FINRA now requires financial firms to offer this option. A trusted contact is someone your broker can reach out to if they suspect financial exploitation or cognitive decline. It's an extra layer of protection that costs nothing. Switch to LED light bulbs throughout your home if you haven't already. This simple change can save you $100 to $200 a year on electricity and lower your thermostat by just 1 or 2 degrees. Each degree lower in winter saves approximately 3% on your heating bill. And here's the single most important rule. Wait 24 hours before making any financial decision prompted by fear or urgency. This one rule alone prevents most costly mistakes. Now I have to warn you about something that happens every time there's a financial crisis, and it's already happening now. Scammers come out of the woodwork during oil shocks. They prey on fear, and seniors are their #1 target. Here are the red flags to watch for. If someone calls you offering an incredible oil or energy investment with guaranteed returns of 20% or more, hang up. No legitimate investment guarantees returns. If someone calls claiming your electricity will be shut off unless you pay immediately with a gift card, hang up. Utility companies never demand gift card payment. If you get an email or text saying you qualify for a federal energy rebate, and you just need to enter your social security number and bank information, delete it. The government does not ask for personal information through email or text. If someone posing as a financial advisor pressures you to move your IRA immediately into some special crisis-proof fund, step back. Legitimate advisors never pressure instant decisions. This is a classic high-pressure scam. If you see social media posts hyping a small oil stock that's going to make you rich, ignore it. These are pump-and-dump schemes. Watch out for robocalls offering free solar panels or home insulation upgrades that require your personal information up front. Legitimate energy assistance programs don't cold call you. And be wary of anyone claiming to be from the government, offering a special one-time energy relief payment. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Here's what you say when someone pressures you. You say, "I never make financial decisions on the phone. I'll consult my advisor." Or you say, "Let me call you back at your official number." Or simply, "No thank you. I'm not interested." Practice these phrases. They're your shield. If you already clicked a suspicious link or sent money, take these steps immediately. Call your bank and freeze your accounts. Report the incident to FINRA's senior helpline at 84457-43577. File a report with the FTC at reportftc.gov. Place a fraud alert on your credit by calling any one of the 3 credit bureaus. And change all your online passwords immediately. Before we wrap up, let me give you the 3 most important takeaways from everything we've covered today. First, oil price shocks are temporary, but panic selling causes permanent damage to your retirement savings. Second, a cash bucket of 12 to 18 months of expenses means you never have to sell investments during a crisis. Third, wait 24 hours before any financial decision made under fear or pressure, because that pause protects you from both bad investments and scams. Now, if you're a family member watching this, or you're helping an older parent or grandparent manage their finances, here are 3 respectful ways you can help. Offer to sit down together and review their monthly budget to see how the oil price increase is affecting them. Ask open-ended questions like, have your energy costs changed this month? Have you gotten any calls about your investments lately? Would it help if we looked at your portfolio together? And here are 2 things to avoid. Don't shame them for not being prepared. Financial stress hits everyone differently, and shame shuts down communication. And don't take over their finances without their consent. Collaboration builds trust. Control builds resentment. Let me say those 3 takeaways one more time, because I really want them to stick. First, oil price shocks are temporary, but panic selling causes permanent damage to your retirement savings. Second, a cash bucket of 12 to 18 months of expenses means you never have to sell investments during a crisis. Third, wait 24 hours before any financial decision made under fear or pressure, because that pause protects you from both bad investments and scams. Here's the core idea I want you to walk away with today. You cannot control oil prices. You cannot control what happens in the Middle East. You cannot control the stock market, but you absolutely can control how you respond. You can build your cash bucket. You can add inflation protection to your portfolio. You can reduce your energy costs. You can spot scams before they steal your money. And you can make calm, informed decisions instead of reacting out of fear. That is how you protect your retirement savings. Not by guessing what oil prices will do tomorrow, but by having a plan that works no matter what they do. This is general financial education, not personal financial advice. Everyone's situation is different, and I always recommend consulting with a licensed financial professional before making changes to your retirement plan. If something sounds too good to be true, verify it independently. Check credentials through FINRA Broker Check, and never let anyone rush you into a decision about your money. If this information was helpful, save this video so you can come back to the checklist. Share it with someone you care about who might be worried about their savings right now. And if you'd like more content like this that helps you make smarter financial decisions, hit that subscribe button. I'll keep bringing you the information you need to protect what you've worked a lifetime to build. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.